But we really needed to be able to show that the genes we found in yeast and the genes that saved the yeast cells, those same genes would matter to a neuron. So we actually looked at in a couple of different systems initially. One was this wonderful nematode system. It's a worm. It's a simple little worm, but it's got lots of different kinds of neurons. And in fact, it's got the same kind of neurons, dopaminergic neurons, that are adversely affected in Parkinson's disease. And we could actually wire up those cells to express alpha-synuclein and wired them up so that they were green, they glowed green. We could actually study them in a living worm. And we could see that when the worms were expressing alpha-synuclein in those cells, you can see how some of them are disappearing over there. It's a true neurodegenerative model in the nematode. And our genes that rescued the yeast cell also rescued that nematode. And the same thing happened when we took neurons from rat brains, the midbrain region of the rat, which is the corresponding region that's affected in Parkinson's in humans. So that was pretty encouraging.
I say, you need to cleanse. You need to make sure that you do a good, thorough cleanse. And reason being is that if you do have a lot of parasites, and if you never cleanse, especially if you have animals, if you eat pork, many things like that, then you're going to be more prone to have parasites. But hey, here's the numbers. 85%, according to the Walter Reed Army Institute, 85% of Americans, not third world country, not somebody who went on a missions trip, but 85% of Americans have parasites. Well, guess what? I've passed them, my kids have passed them, my animals have passed them. So yeah, because a parasite can't live on its own. It has to live within you or within me, one of our kids, one of our animals, and thrive off of it. So if you've never done a cleanse, you need to start with a cleanse, because you may be taking all kinds of extra nutrients and then wonder why it's just not working. Well, maybe it's not the brand that you're taking, but maybe it's because you have something on the inside of you that's getting all the good stuff, that's getting those powerful nutrients that are much needed for you before you are physically and mentally and spiritually even able to utilize them within your body. So it's a great place to start by cleansing. Now, I'm kind of going backwards here, but I just want to get into this a little bit because so many of you have heard me talk about parasites over the years, and that is that if you go to do a cleanse, make sure that you do it for really a minimum of 60 days up to 90 days. And the reason I say that is because these parasites lay eggs. In fact, I'm going to read one study to you in just a minute, but roundworms can lay anywhere from 150,000 to 200,000 eggs a day. A day. The mature female roundworm, just disgusting to say it, can lay up to 200,000 eggs a day. Well, guess what? I guarantee some of those are female roundworms, and they're going to do the very same thing. They multiply very quickly. So, wonder what all those parasite symptoms might be. And there's all kinds of parasites. There's over 150,000 different parasites that are known to get in the human body, okay? But there are only a few that they're actually test for. Medical tests, blood tests, stool samples is usually the doctors give you a little kit. They want you to take it home, and when you go to the bathroom, they want you to get a stool sample, put it in this little kit, bring it back, mail it off to the lab, whatever. And that, there are a few that are tested for that are the most common. But there are over 150,000.
I do believe it's possible that what Huntington's is a parasite, a type of parasite. And so I'm going to do all I can to get rid of it. Doing some enema protocol, this particular enema protocol that was patented by Dr. Gubarev. I think that's going to be my next thing. And I'm going to share with you exactly how I do an enema so that you can do one too. So that will be my next video. For now, I just want to thank everyone for coming along with me on this journey. I know that some of this is difficult to understand or to grasp, but sometimes we got to do the difficult things and understand the difficult things to get to a much better place.